This is Ready or Not. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. So this is a tactical shooter, akin to being a spiritual successor for Rainbow Six, the old school versions, where you literally have to be careful, a few bullets can take you out, and you've got to command a squad as you go about, well, sieging and taking out various locations strategically. You can play the game offline and manage a team and build your team and make sure everybody's alright level to level. Or you can play online with others in a variety of unique multiplayer experiences as you just sort of free play through levels, as to say. The goals are always the same in terms of trying to, achieve so many points or so many correct objectives throughout each level in order to get the best rank. And it's just whether you do that in a single player or a multiplayer capacity. And the game is really, really quite fascinating. Ow. Either way you go about it. Ow. You guys are great. Did you tie up the person? There's usually somebody out here. No, maybe there isn't this time. Okay, get in there, team. There's no need to be like that. I already took, like, all of the bullets, but whatever. So, yeah, you manage your team. You attempt your best to save lives, because you're not here to necessarily take them. And depending on the scenario, sometimes you literally, can't save everybody. You're hopefully able to stop as many of them as you can without taking too many lives, but, every situation is a little bit different. And every challenge requires something a little bit different. Get down on the ground. What are you doing? You're going to get us killed over here. So, anyways, it's quite neat. And there's different difficulty settings, too. That'll give you varying levels of challenge on top of whatever. And I'd say it's pretty accessible from a console perspective, and the gameplay actually feels pretty sleek. It moves pretty quick. It's got a cool style to it. There's a lot of different environments and challenges. Like, the game is actually filled, I would say, with content. I'm genuinely impressed by how many maps are here, how many different environments are here. There's everything from, like, college campuses to nightclubs to all kinds of weird outback areas, and this game really has some genuinely impressive levels of detail and depth too. And it's all modernized, which is super, super cool. So, yeah, we were kind of streaming this to play it and go through it, and I was really quite blown away by, like, literally the setting being, like, today. There's, like, a map, which is after this one, which we'll probably show, which is literally, like, a streamer environment where, they've got, like, anime things set up and figurines and stuff, and it's, like, literally on par with the technology and the environments that you would see in your day-to-day life, and it just adds that level of realism. The game also deals with some pretty heavy material as well, so just be warned that there is some stuff that is, a little sensitive and a little aggressive, but it does add to the, I guess you would say, realism or the intensity of playing this game. So the game has a couple different graphical options. This is the fidelity mode, which is basically your full, get down on the ground, your full 4K at 30 FPS. It's not the way I would really play it, but it's cool that this exists in case you want to see the full quality there. And then we can go to options and we can switch over to performance mode, which will apply. And that'll give us 1440p, it's 60 FPS. It's on by default at performance mode, but, I like to start with the higher resolution, that way I can play most of it with performance. Yeah, you get what I'm talking about. And then there's FOV options, world FOV, weapon, everything like that. Some different audio settings, accessibility stuff, controller options, which is interesting because, like, PlayStation settings had, like, keyboard stuff, and I don't really see that on Xbox, I don't know. And then there's a bunch of gameplay settings for, like, HUD and mechanical stuff, and then you can link your Epic Games Store account if you want to take advantage of the crossplay. So immediately you can see an increase in the fluidity of the game, I still think, like, 1440p and getting that 60 FPS is totally fine. It's a good balance. It doesn't look too low quality, and it feels fluid, which is kind of what you're hoping for, right? There might be a couple drops here or there, but for the most part, it's more than fine. It's a well-running, well-oiled machine here on the console, and yeah, pretty good way to play this game and this experience. And it's really, really quite interesting, the setup and the design of this. And like I was saying though, environmentally, the level of detail is so neat. Like every place actually feels like a real environment. And there's so many of these different types of environments, if that makes sense. Like you really do go to some unique places and see some crazy things in every part of every environment. It doesn't seem like they really reuse assets or anything. Like these are actually like extensive, unique locations with different challenges. And I think that's really exciting. And it just kind of keeps it fresh. And like I said, like we played quite a bit of this, and I think you can get kind of hours of replay value. What are we missing here, actually? Take a look at this. Rescue all of the citizens. That's what we're missing? Did we not, This happens sometimes, where there's like one person that you haven't like rescued, as to say, and you gotta look around the map. That's the one annoying thing I would say in this game, is like sometimes it's a little hard to like find the last person. But no, like I was playing through it and I was sitting there being like, wow, you can like play it and then you can replay it and try to get better scores and, have a better accomplishment level as you try to do better. And then of course when you play the levels, the challenge is going to be different, because there's going to be different like enemy layouts. They're going to be in different places, and if you could play this with pals, I think the game is even more interesting, because you can like basically just have all this communication and chatter, and you can set it up in a way that you're kind of always just like replaying and kind of tackling the scenarios, getting better at it. But like that randomness just kind of keeps it more fresh. I wish they could take it a step further. It would be neat if the map layouts were like dynamic, if that makes sense, because that would really lead way to a lot more refreshing. But I mean, that would be a daunting extra bit of work. But this map is quite neat, this level. Like it really does hit the modern stage pretty well, so we're going to be tackling that in a sec here once it loads up. But yeah, you just go on high risk missions against violent, cruel, and calculated criminals. No, it really has interesting stuff, and there's like a bit of a story, as to say. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a direct narrative, but there is like each mission kind of leads into other missions, and there's all this like background stuff that like references other missions you have to go to, and that in itself is all pretty cool. Like, you really do feel, like you're going through a situation where things are like evolving, and you're kind of like going from one place and then logically discovering another place, and it's neat, because I wouldn't call it like a story, because there's not really like necessarily like character development, but it works well for what it is, and I quite like it, and it plays pretty well here on the Series X, which is great. It's excellent to be able to take a look at it here on the platform as well, and showcase it. Do we got this guy already bagged and tagged? Nice. Drop it. Drop it. See, like I said, good thing he missed. That could have been so bad. That guy could have died. Wow. That guy should be freaking out. That bullet like went right by. Like, that would have been terrifying. Yeah, totally. I got distracted there. They give you a lot of like tactical stuff too to like handle things. You get to really personalize your equipment and your setup, and then they allow you to interact. I got a broken leg. That's great.
Post up and cover the area.
Wait, you can just open the door regularly? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, that was embarrassing. Anyways. there's really like deep levels of like tactical adjustments. So like, you know, you got your contextual leaning, you got like your scope on the side. You can put on like a laser sight. I just got like a flashlight because there's a lot of dark maps. You got your MPGs, night vision goggles.
Provide support. I got you.
Like they really do a good job of like giving you all this stuff and then you letting you like sort of create your gear and set up for whatever you want. It's really neat too. Like you go in and you personalize your setup as you go along, and you'd be like get all these weapons and tools, and you can choose your armor types, and they just really give you a lot of freedom in how you want to like tackle scenarios. And you can be as intense and tactical as you want. Like you could throw in like a flashbang and attack the room that way. There are many tactics that you're allowed to deploy, and really you can play it however you want. Wow, I actually died. That's surprising. Usually I absolutely just knock this mission out of the park. We were doing okay. I just got blasted. So you always check all your corners and stuff like that. Otherwise you just die and you get an F. It hurts your feelings. Oh, it's not just going to let me restart it? That's kind of funny. I think it's because we're playing the campaign, as to say, the story mode. That's sort of hilarious. Straight up died. Wow, tragic. Alright, let's do it again. But no, I quite like this. You know, as I said, like I played quite a fair bit of it, gameplay-wise, streaming-wise. And I think it's actually like a really well put together thing. There's dozens of missions, and then if you want, you can grab the extra DLC packs. There's like 3 of those right now, and each of them has 3 extra missions. So you can really add a good amount of extra content to the game. But the replay value itself, I think, is very well done. And it's like a world that really is reflective of like the dark properties of life and society, but like, yeah, you see some kind of messed up stuff in this one. And there are elements, like, I guess this is a bit censored for the console, so, you know, keep that in mind as well, but I think you get pretty much, like, the full gameplay and experience, and everything's pretty well put together for this game. I don't really have complaints other than sometimes it doesn't, quite pan out for my squad. Which I think is a bit of a shame. Oh, that's not good.
Fall in.
I didn't want to have to kill you, but, you know, it happens. But I think the game really is kind of, you know, what you make it. Because like I said, the goal is really not to kill people, if you can help it. But if you have to, right? And you can see from the last time we were in here that the layout of everything is a little bit different. They bag the gun. Good.
Dynamic movement. Move and clear.
The AI can be
Provide support on me.
quite helpful for doing stuff like this. But it's neat because you're managing this team. You can have them flashbang and enter a room. You can have them attack a room in dynamic ways. Or if you're playing multiplayer, like I mentioned, you really have to like communicate
Provide support.
and choose the right way to do things. And I think that in itself is quite rewarding. Like for me, the fun of this is the multiplayer. Not necessarily like the single player stuff here with the AI. And I mean they're fine, the AI, but it's a little bit more exciting and interesting for me to play this with like other players and see how everyone interacts and reacts to what's going on in the environment. I think that really does keep it fresh. So you get something set really modern time. Or like I think it's like slightly in the future. I think it's like for 28 or something like that is the in-universe setup, but like you get all that excitement. Can we like stack up here, guys? Or you know what? Let's breach. Breach shotgun?
Cover the area. Done.
Fine, just don't listen to me.
No dice on the door. Lock picket.
get to be the best of the best. We're SWAT with real-time tactical engagement. But I love the level of detail, like the uniforms, the world, everything looks pretty great.
Move in and clear.
Consoles, there's definitely a bit of a downgrade on like character models and stuff, but I think it does things pretty well. Get down! I take it they're not gonna, you know, yield on that stuff, so we're gonna have to shoot them. It's really interesting though, because like the core gameplay concept is relatively simple. You know, you go in, you do your mission. It's largely based around, you know, shooting folks, but doing so in a way that like you keep civilians alive. Sometimes there's other little twists. Maybe there's like a bomb threat or something. It's interesting. Like the dynamics of it are quite fascinating, and always evolving as you continue to, you know, advance what you do as tactics, and then depending on the difficulty too,
Fall in.
because the game can bring a high level of challenge. Where am I getting shot from? Where did that guy come from? And that's annoying too. Like a lot of the time in this game, I'll be like, where am I getting attacked from? Seriously, like where did you come from?
Enter and clear.
Did he run down there from this room? This room is the coolest spot. That's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like a bit of a streamer type room, but it really nails like the modern vibe. Like it's just so neat. It's like there's YouTube. With like the AI thumbnails and everything. Like it just, yeah, the game just sort of really, like atmospherically, gameplay wise, just kind of gets the modern setting so well. Well, they got the driving wheel too. I didn't even notice that last time. But like, look at all the different stuff in here. Like the different figurines, the different stuff on the shelves. Like it's almost like an excessive level of over detail, but it makes and paints such a creative picture of a place that actually is like lived in.
Move in, clear the room, ready.
And I think if you're doing like a realistic world, that's probably something you should be trying to achieve, is like something that feels like it could actually be an actual event. It just makes the stakes so much higher when it's real like this. The Roomba! It cleans all the way over here? Holy, that thing gets around. And then you go here and you be on the webcam and stuff. See the Discord, the stream chat. You're getting swatted. Something pretty wild about this, right? Like, genuinely quite interesting. And, like, it feels fresh. Like, it's, like, there's lots of tactical games like this. There definitely is. But there is something about the way they've kind of crafted this one that I really find quite charming. What are we missing here? Arrest. Michael failed. Rescue all civilians. Did we miss a civilian somewhere? Everybody's been arrested. That's what I talk about sometimes. Like this happens almost too often, where you're kind of like rescue everybody. I think there's still a bad guy I didn't see. Usually there's a sign on the screen that says, "Oh, you've done stuff." Oh wow. One of our guys died. That's embarrassing. We actually had a guy die. I've never lost a squad mate before. You know, not like an AI one, you know, it's...
Lead to talk. Suspect is down.
Usually it's just, multiplayer pals you lose, but... Wow. That guy's had better days.
Get down, I want to see hands!
Anyways, I think you can have a lot of fun playing this. If you're looking for, like, a neat tactical shooter, this one gets the job done, plays well in the Series X. You know, just kind of embrace performance mode. I think you'll be really happy with that. I think you'll enjoy the challenge of it. I think it offers a different type of way to play a shooter game. Fresh and exciting. Old school, like Rainbow Six used to be back in the day. And, yeah, Just kind of a rewarding offering if you're jumping in and wanting to play this. It's got a lot of content to it.